and welcome back to the Mind Your Business with AI podcast. So we've got our next AI meetup guest and podcast guest, Andrew Hewitt. So you're the CEO and founder of Yohdev. And why don't you just kind of walk us through, just kind of introduce yourself briefly, and then we can dive into some of the AI topics.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, as you mentioned, my name's Andrew Hewitt. I'm the founder and CEO of Yohdev. I started Yohdev coming up on 9 years now. So, in 2026, it'll be 9 years exactly. So with Yohdev, it's really interesting. I know there's probably a lot of freelancers, marketers, people that are out there doing themselves or actually owning a business. Like a website marketing is something that you always need, right? So when I first went out into the world of digital marketing, I focused on just about everything. So like you think full service agency, like that can do everything, PPC, SEO, website, branding, whatever. Mm-hmm. That's what I was trying to offer. I quickly found out that that is not at least with me, I don't have a lot of, marketing experience. I was sales. That's what I did before this. And it was just like, there was so many, it was just crowded. There was marketing consultant, social media consultant, designers all over the place. And they all did the same thing. So I did notice that the one thing that they were missing was development. So I did development back then. I just picked it up and I just could go. So the thing about that is like I noticed that, and then when I picked that up and I just could go and just do it, I started partnering with my competitors. So my competitors, the marketing consultants, the agencies, they started freelancing me. And then I'll fast forward this so we can get into the beefy topics.
Well, before you do that, for those of you listening that don't know, what is development?
Oh, development. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, web development. So websites, web apps, mobile applications. But when I started it, and it's still sort of focused in this area, it's marketing and sales technology type development.
Okay.
So CRM and all, like anything that ties to your customer acquisition pipeline.
Gotcha.
Yep. So again, we're going to fast forward. That first couple of years were crazy, ups and downs, partnerships, all that kind of stuff. And then once I got to 2019, I went out for 100% on my own, where I didn't have any business partners, and that's when, ironically, the business started skyrocketing.
It's like right there at the cusp of COVID. So was COVID good?
So yeah, this is interesting. So 2019, we're still kind of offering everything. We're dabbling. Like I couldn't let it go. Like people are still asking for it. I gotta say yes, especially when that's all. I was full time at the time there, doing full time myself, like self-employed. I needed the money, but then like the first 3 months, it was like, this is getting rough. Like the project's too complex, and I think the biggest thing was like we were doing an SEO article for some limousine company out in Denver, and it was a great article. Like it was great, but he ended up refunding everything and getting his money back and going through a policy of Square and all this kind of stuff. And like I didn't have SEO set up the same way that I had web dev, like from contract standpoint. So because you have so many different services, you got to have so many different ways of different things. So it was just like I got screwed there.
Yeah,
and then that's when I was like, I'm just going to do what I know I can do and deliver the value and there's no way you can say this is bad because we're just delivering that value. And that was straight up delivery and implementing development projects. And that's what we do now. And that's what we do at scale now. So we have a full scale team. We have an engineering manager who's got 20 plus years in the industry. And then we have a group of developers and tech enthusiasts that they're all pretty much senior level. We don't really have any juniors on our team because we're not big enough to mentor a team properly. So we have to go with higher talent or more experience, and it's going to cost us more, but it's worth it at this time because we don't have that pipeline to train up people effectively to.
Gotcha.
So especially with AI now, it's really rough because you could hire a young kid and it's looking pretty good, and then when they get into it, you find out they're just vibe coding or they're it's like
which we're gonna get into vibe coding.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just laid out a timeline. Could you kind of map on top of that timeline, your timeline, how AI, the rise of, because it kind of seems like it's
Okay. So
going lockstep.
you asked you asked about COVID, right? So this is
Yeah.
interesting. So 2019, like right around I say end of Q1, we went all in web dev. Company like tripled, like in a quarter we like tripled.
That's awesome.
Then 2020 was a really strong year, and I also I subcontracted on the side for a big marketing agency in Greensboro called Pace Communications.
Okay, heard of that.
And they, I learned a lot there. I learned how big agencies work. I learned some of the bottlenecks of big agencies and some of the hiccups. And ironically, a lot of them are in dev and tech delivery of projects. So I learned a lot there. And then 2020, like I said, was really strong. And then boom, COVID hit in the early, or 2019 was strong. 2020, COVID hit, but it was really strong. That's what I wanted to say. It was, everybody was coming to us. Like, it was like they were cutting creative and design and marketing and all these other things, but dev was staying. Or
Gotcha.
they were going, okay, well, we're going to take the branding, the strategy, and all that other stuff in-house, and then, but we need the website. So what are we going to do? So that's like, COVID was actually a pivotal part of the company, because when COVID happened, all the agencies started laying everybody off and losing accounts. And a lot of those accounts started to find other ways to get their projects done. And they did that through selecting specialized vendors to handle the different functions of the marketing team.
Gotcha.
Instead of a full service agency that handles it all, because their budgets, the retainers are huge, and there's just a lot of overhead that comes with an agency. So now all of our best clients have in-house marketing, like maybe one or two people. And then they have like a go-to vendor for web dev, a go-to vendor for SEO, a go-to vendor for CRM and data. And then those vendors collaborate, and it's way more effective and more streamlined. And Yohdev's finding our spot as like the center, which is really nice, because we're finding that like as companies are scaling up and they go through private equity and all this other stuff, they start to hire more people, and then they start to fire some agencies. Like, oh, we got an in-house analytics SEO guy now.
Right.
Bye.
Yeah.
We're still going along for the ride. They keep the dev. And I think the big key is Yohdev acts as a delivery partner, not just a development partner, meaning that we take all your project requirements, all your things, and we put it into a nice board and we deliver it. And like that was really big, because some of our clients now are utilizing us to just kind of brain dump like what they need to do and things that, and then like, it's like we're kind of just there to like deliver the projects for you like at a super fast rate.
Gotcha. Very cool.
Yeah.
So it's cool that it sounds like the team you put together, very experienced, and they've got AI skills. Like, what can you talk more broadly about that? Like,
Yeah, sure.
is everybody in the company using AI at this point?
Yes.
Okay, very cool.
Everyone's using it.
I mean, this is like what a lot of companies talk about,
Yeah.
But, but I mean, I've worked in a huge, multi-billion-dollar company, and like the AI hype and the AI reality, there seems to be a pretty big kind of gap between there.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like with a small organization,
Oh, yeah.
you've got, I guess, just like a different
just go.
type of person.
You just go. I mean, in a small organization, this is the thing. It's not that you have a different type of person. It's that you don't have as much red tape and and roadblocks to using tools. So, for instance, we do that Dev Connect meetup, right? Yeah. So, like one of the developers out there that came out in Winston last month, he was talking about how we just got approved for GitHub Copilot.
Wow.
And GitHub Copilot's been out since the beginning, So
Really?
like when ChatGPT and everything was starting to come out, was that like late 2021? Like it was all out and being worked on and baited and stuff, but the public didn't actually know about it until, what was it, 2021? I think November 2021.
I mean, in terms of AI, that's like ancient.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's more than like 3 weeks old.
But Copilot was one of the original tools that was like that everybody, like GitHub Copilot, like the AI that was in your editor, like, and you could just it'll pre-fill things and do things for you. but like they just got approved for that, and it was a really big, big company. So with us, we're able to rapidly just test and use tools. And then what we found is the first little bit we started testing and using, and then things drop off. And then all of a sudden I look at the budget and we got this huge SaaS bill. I was like, oh crap. Yeah. And then we go through and there's all these different AIs, and I'm like, oh, we gotta start stripping some of these down. So now we have an AI governance and guidelines SOP.
Okay.
And
interesting.
And now we have, so I do have approved, because like we went through the R&D. Like we know which agents we want to use. We know how we want to use them. And we know in what scenarios
they're actually effective.
They're effective, or you probably shouldn't. Or there's some that are good for bug fixes or minor enhancements. And then there's some that you could just hack away an entire app just right in, just
so
talking
is the list just Replit and Love It or Lovable?
The list goes on.
So you can't just have one super agent that's just able to do everything?
If I was to say, if there's a super agent out there, I'd say Claude is going to be close. For a super coding agent, I would say Claude is probably the best. Claude Code.
Okay, because I played around with Replit. I've created a very basic app on there. But as I was getting into it, the more I was realizing, like, oh, I don't understand kind of, we were just talking about this, like, how do you put this into production? Like it's cool. You can click around, you just got dummy data and it's interactive. Like, that's amazing. And that could be a great sales tool. But like, if I were to like actually get a development client, I wouldn't really know.
Yep. So there's two paths right now. It's, you know how everybody, so this is funny because, and this, I'm going to kind of this is going to be a long-winded answer. I'm just going to, prep you for this.
This is a podcast.
Yeah. So, everybody talked smack on WordPress, and they still kind of do. Not only in development world, because WordPress has its quirks, but in the front end marketing world, because it's so hard to use, and they just start adding all these plugins and stuff. Like, it's not how you're supposed to use WordPress, but but so like WordPress is open source. You own it. It's your website. It's your data. Everything about that WordPress instance is you own it, essentially, unless you're on WordPress.com. If you're on WordPress.com or .org, I think it's called, or whatever, WordPress.com. WordPress.com, you have to pay per month and host it. So the reason I'm explaining this is because open source WordPress, where you can scale it to infinity and grow it out, make it custom, and even integrate it into like a full stack infrastructure, is like your CMS that, you pull that data and build.
Right, because it's got the shop.
You could just go build. You don't actually use WordPress as a front end. You could use it as what's called a headless CMS. So that opportunity is open only if you know what you're doing, and you can be an open source. You can be on the open source world. Now let's fast forward to AI and Lovable and Replit.
So I've used Wix ADP or ADI.
Yeah. So Wix. That's where I'm kind of getting at. Wix is like the Replit and Lovables of the world to WordPress. You know how Wix and Squarespace was that's it for WordPress. Like, no, we're not going to be developers anymore, I guess. Like, that's what the naysay, the people that kind of look at the glass half full kind of, or half empty kind of people. Like, they're like, oh, well, I can't sell websites now because Squarespace, Wix, all these designers are going to get into the market and start being able to just put together sites real quick. Well, come to find out, the templates are limited. Yeah. The code, if you do want to be a Wix developer, is so boxed. Like, if you want to be like a Wix developer or a Squarespace
like a
developer, you're kind of like getting like boxed into And then if that platform ever gets obliterated, like if you were spending your entire career or freelance life doing Squarespace or Wix development, you're kind of screwed now. So with WordPress, you're open, your data is yours, whatever. So what I'm trying to get at is with Lovable and Replit and all these other platforms, they have options for you to like host with them and like connect databases and do all this stuff. but you're basically just going to be running a Wix type of a setup, essentially.
So yeah,
Think
so
about
that's what. So
like
I
you're
built
paying
my
a provider.
yeah I built my own website, just using like a chat prompt. I
Yeah.
was like, what do you want? Do you want courses in there? Do you want to shop? Do you want to be able to send bills on a recurring basis? And then I guess it's basically like mapped out what a very simple website. I mean,
Yeah.
Silvertone Analytics is not. I don't need like a crazy
Yeah,
infrastructure.
The brochure site.
Yeah, and then I've also done it. I guess I am a developer because I have successfully sold a Wix. For a client of mine, I built out because they had nothing. So I mean, I think going from nothing to a website, that's I mean,
we always say this. Like I'd never knock a Wix or a Squarespace, but whenever anybody says, "Yeah, I think we're just going to go with that," or "We're going to go with that freelancer," I'll go, "Okay, well." You'll know when if your business gets to a certain size, you'll know when to call me, because
you're friends with Jeff St. George, right?
Yeah.
So he was talking to me about Wix. We probably had like a similar version of the same conversation. He was saying that you can't put more than 100 pages. So like
I didn't know that limitation. I've never built a Wix site that like close to that size.
So like for SEO, if you want to like dominate, a big niche.
We have several companies that are almost like 700 pages and posts together.
That's crazy.
And
that's
just a lot of content.
That's a huge amount of content
to
manage.
Like I said, so now let's get back to the AI apps. So like there is no open source like one-stop shop solution like WordPress in the app world. So what you need to be able to know how to do, or have somebody who knows how to do, is basically use Replit, Rourke, there's other ones, Lovable. Use it to get your MVP flows and your UI and all of your user stories that you need to fulfill through a clickable prototype knocked out. Because that actually is like the heaviest lift of a web app or a mobile app project, is the discovery, the requirements gathering, all that stuff. That's all stuff you're going to do without the app. I mean, you're going to use probably another AI to help you do it. But like that's like you're not even using the AI app, coding app yet. Get all that stuff up like ready to roll, put it into like docs format or something that's easy for a model to read. Like uploading PDFs is like the best way.
Interesting.
That's I don't know if you heard that yet or not, but
I do have questions about
custom
GPTs, but that's a little bit later in the conversation.
But so getting back to it, like you get all your requirements for your app, everything you need to do. Like I say, like even figure out your flows. So like if you have a user story for user needs to sign up for an account, log in, and see the splash page. That's something you need to map out, write down, and know the flow. And then once you get all your flows clicked up and everything works like the way that it's supposed to work, and like you fulfill all your success criteria from a front end and like UI standpoint, then most of these apps have a little GitHub icon at the top right, and then you can connect your GitHub account.
Okay.
And then you can push this code over to GitHub in a repo, where now you have access to pull it down or copy the entire repo. And a lot of these apps, so I know that the one I really like to use is called v0.dev. Okay. But it only makes web apps, so it doesn't do mobile apps. But what I like about it is it uses a JavaScript framework called Next.js. It's one of the most widely adopted React-based static site generators. It also uses a language called TypeScript, which enterprise level clients like, because what TypeScript does is it forces you to hardly code. Like there's a way to loosely code and hard code. Like hard coding is like
you're writing out letter by letter.
Well, every single you're thinking about content, hard coding content versus dynamic. When I say hard, strictly typed or loosely typed. So strictly typed frameworks allow you to put rules in place so that like you're only if this piece of data needs to be a string and it comes through as a number, your site won't build. You know what I mean? So
Okay,
like
interesting.
it's like makes it like really
So it's
like
a stop.
yeah, kind of like it allows you to like really build out your front end components to where they're safe. Like you can't just have crappy data come through and then all of a sudden, that's going to go out in the front end and break. Like you can have like so like it has TypeScript in there, has a really good stack. So once you have that and you have that over in GitHub, then we get to what's called your actual like coding agent, which is something like Claude, or you can use Amazon Q or Gemini, and you install that on your local machine, and then you just open up your code editor of choice with a terminal and start picking up where you left off. And now you're local. But to see me as a developer, yeah, I think about it and I just thought about like 10 other things that has to be done in order to,
So when when I was in Replit trying to develop, I was like, I know that I don't know that like 5 to 2% that like is critical for everything to run. So like I should probably stop here. Yeah. And, I mean, it's cool to like build something that you can show.
Yeah, it's real. Here's this idea. You validate ideas like really very quick for zero cost, basically.
Gotcha.
But once you need to be able to either be okay being tied to the platforms forever, and being a Lovable consultant instead of a Wix or Squarespace consultant, but you're always going to kind of put yourself in a box. And I mean, that's okay. Everybody's in a different market size. I'm in a size where I'm dealing with higher level stakeholders that like they want to own the source code. They want to own the workflows. They want to own everything so that like they can get the lowest cost at scale when they sell their business or whatever. So like you can't be tied to like, you can't have like an app, like something like that critical, in my opinion, that entire infrastructure tied to a third party. I think you need to own the source code. Google Cloud needs like, or AWS or whatever. Some of the infrastructure needs to be on there. Like, like
and is that just from a cost standpoint or?
That's from a cost and just like,
I guess you can't go in and see. Can you see the back end?
Well, okay, so let me put, like, I don't know the prices. I don't have the prices up right now, but have you ever seen a pricing page and it's like $30 a month for your basic?
Yeah.
And it's like,
and then call me for enterprise.
Call for enterprise.
Yeah.
That's the part.
Okay.
That big companies, if they're CFOs or whatever, like if they're going to invest in this application, like, okay, are we going to build it and own it? Or like, what's this look like here? So like maybe, I don't know. I never hit the call to enterprise button for any of those things. So like, I don't know, like maybe like, yeah, you do own all the code and you do own all this or whatever. But the way that I see it, they're set up is like, they're setting it up to like, they're going to be app hosting companies.
Gotcha.
They're going to be Wix. They're going to be the Wixes of apps, the Squarespaces of apps. But the full stack engineers aren't going anywhere because, and again, everybody got scared of WordPress, right? Like, oh, might as well not worry about selling websites now because everybody's going to be on Squarespace and Wix. WordPress is still the most dominated website.
Yeah.
Like it didn't go anywhere. And actually it's getting better. Because like the block editor that they have is really good and it's just really nice to do things. Like the API is really good if like you're gonna use it as a CMS for your full stack app. Like if you wanted to.
Well, I was gonna say Ryan Forrest built out my Silvertone analytics website. It's on Squarespace, but then we use a plugin called Elementor.
Yep.
So I can go in and actually do.
Now, when you said Squarespace, you mean
not Squarespace,
WordPress.
WordPress.
Yeah, Elementor. Yeah, Elementor is a third-party plugin for WordPress. Yep.
Yeah. So I've been using that, so I can add a page, quickly spin up a new landing page to like when I was running the How to Get an English Job podcast.
Yep.
I could make a new video. Hey, we're doing this special deal or whatever, and then create the web page and then send people to it.
Yep. Yeah, no, Elementor is a good one. We don't use we just use native WordPress, but yeah.
Which I don't know. I mean, maybe that's a unique situation. I guess. Do you run into a lot of clients that want to be able to customize on their own? Or
they can, but they do. Every site we build, like it's built for client autonomy, meaning that
Okay.
everything that their team needs to be able to do without a developer, they can do. So
Gotcha.
add new pages. The only thing that they can't really do themselves is like if they want to add a new page with like 5 new sections with like crazy amounts
Okay.
of like new creative
See, because
direction.
I can do that on Elementor. It just turns like the page into a grid.
Yeah,
and I
you
can
can.
just drop
Yep.
stuff in there.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
Um,
so like for like a, solopreneur or
Yeah.
like, smaller team, like Elementor is great. But for a team of like a VP of marketing or a marketing manager, and that marketing manager is doing like 10
Right. I
things,
imagine it gets infinitely
there's a
more
learning
complex.
curve for these like every little builder, every little tool
Yeah.
that they're going to be doing. Like, so like if they can offload some of these things and like, oh, okay, I can just log into my WordPress site and just change content, or we have all these pre-configured patterns and sections that I can just
Gotcha.
click a button and just inject and then change the content out. That's good. I don't want to design. Like they don't want
Yeah.
to design their own pages.
God,
Like,
that makes sense.
yeah.
All right, so let's move the topic to custom GPTs.
Okay.
And this is both for the audience and for my own
Alrighty.
interest, because I would say we've got a beta type of a custom GPT for one of my clients that I've helped develop. And right now we're just using like the syllabus from classes and practice tests to then spin up like a custom GPT for each individual class. Questions I have are around the prompt engineering. So like, I think those are decent sources enough. At the last AI meetup, we brought up like, hey, could we just scan one of the textbooks? Well, copyright issues, that kind of opens you up to a lawsuit. Although talking to a few different people kind of in this space, like the whole copyright issue, we're like in a new era where all
weird.
of these AI companies just took all the copyrighted information and just gobbled it up.
Making spoofs of
And-
different things, yeah.
And I think that there was like a lawsuit where they settled and it was like $3,000.
I don't know.
Something
I don't-
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Which would completely change the whole like copyright precedent in this country, because usually it's like hundreds of thousands of dollars or
For fines, yeah.
or just yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one. I'd have to look into that.
So
story.
I guess my question to you is like, how would you approach building on a custom GPT?
A custom
like,
GPT?
Well, we
For
could
the
we could
you
make
want me
it
to, you want me to use the
specific for that.
syllabus thing?
Yeah, I think the syllabus thing would be interesting.
Okay, so the first thing I would say is, okay, so how many users? Like, and what type of user is it?
So my client's got about rolling like 100 students that he works with a year.
So is the user type going to be student or teacher?
It's going to be student.
Student. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I'm a student, what am I going to use? Like you give me, I know you kind of like, you talked about it a little bit like, but what's like, okay, give me a use case. Like I'm in the class. There's this
happening
custom
right now.
GPT. Okay. Yeah. Give me a use case.
We're like what, 6 weeks into the school year, first test is coming up. So he always gets this huge flood of students that are like, I don't feel ready, or I've been slacking off, or whatever. What the tool could be designed for is completely like reworking the tutor paradigm, where instead of, I have a question, I'm going to go to the tutor for answers, it's I can use this to spin up a practice test for chapter 1. And then it can give me feedback on here are the 10 areas that are focused on in this chapter. You're strong in these 8, but these 2 you need to take a look at. So already it's kind of getting into, I don't think most tutors test. Like there's not an adaptive learning model. So it's just like you have questions and you get answers. But this is like you're taking a pretest to then identify. So you're starting to know what you don't know, which I guess that's a pretty big problem in that space. It's like if there are things you don't even know how to ask for help for, that's kind of where this can come in. So it can come in. I mean, we're still kind of workshopping like what the angle is, but it's kind of like academic coaching. Okay. It's like you're using the ChatGPT to do practice tests and quizzes, and then the tutor can say, all right, here's your schedule. Okay. So take this practice test, and then it'll spit out results, and then we can sit down and come up with a game plan. You've got a week and a half to study for this test.
Okay.
So that's...
So if I were to just say, just a lean MVP for this is a custom GPT that is tied to syllabus and did you say test?
So they have practice tests that
Got
the
okay,
teachers,
all the practice
like
tests.
I think each school puts together a bank of practice tests or something.
Okay.
So like if we can get access to that, we can then show. We're using ChatGPT right now. We can just say, hey, here's how the tests are formatted. Also, here is more about the like AP formatting or whatever. So we can kind of feed that stuff in there, so that they're getting a realistic test based on the topics that
Okay.
are potentially going to be on that test.
Got it. So the biggest problem I think about right now on how to solve this is what the content and the data that you're providing the GPT is. So like, are they PDFs? Are they spreadsheets? Are they?
I think they're PDFs.
They're PDFs.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, the simple answer is probably what you already have, which is create a new GPT, name it, really be thorough, fill out everything, like use another ChatGPT thread to help configure it.
Yesterday I met with Kurt Meinhold. Have you met Kurt?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he literally said, okay, you're developing this in ChatGPT, use Gemini to write the prompt. So yeah, I guess it's what is that thinking? It's just like two different kind of agents or two different like AI minds.
I don't know. I just like for what I'm basically saying is like I would use a ChatGPT thread to help me configure my custom GPT and like how I should fill it out, what I should put in here, that kind of stuff. But like, cause like when you fill it out, but there are a few other things to kind of consider here. It's been a while since I played with the custom GPTs, but if I can recall, I'm pretty sure you can connect Google Drive maybe.
I don't know.
As a source.
Okay.
Yeah, so look into that. Because what I would do is I would say I would need a folder or a database or something somewhere that keeps these PDFs. It could be a GitHub repo of just PDFs. And then you take that, and then anytime you need to add something new to it, you have a place to put it.
Right.
And then that source, I would connect it to the custom GPT.
I like that.
So that you got a living, breathing kind of knowledge base of information. As far as like working through the prompts and like how to train it to like do the same, like, consistent things and also be custom, that's where there's a lot of, it's interesting. Like, you got to work with it a lot, and it's a lot of like, we built custom GPTs using the ChatGPT model, and it's a lot of just working on it and testing in that little testing thing, playground, sandbox that they had. So just a lot of back and forth. It's challenging, but you gotta really, it's important to your documents need to be organized
and kind of
structured.
Yeah.
It might actually even help to like put like a cover and a table of contents and like put together like a full, like a really big PDF of different things. So if you got a PDF on topics and things that are covered in the material, whether you want to, get around the copyright or not, if there's a digital copy of the thing, I would just take the digital copy and add it to the knowledge library. Who gives it? Like you said, who cares right now? Like, there's not going to be any. Like, as long as these kids aren't taking these tests and like ripping material perfectly and going claiming it's theirs. Like, I don't think anybody's going to know or care if you're using the material to. That's true.
We're leaving a paper trail.
Hopefully it doesn't go viral. That's
that's true.
But what I'm saying is, they're not going to be produced. Like the reason why the copyright thing is an issue is because somebody can use AI, create something, and then go make money off of it. Like, I mean, you're going to try to make money.
Well, that's kind of yeah. I was about to say you're describing the scheme.
Okay, yeah, I get you now. I get you. So what you'd have to do is you'd have to set up a sophisticated kind of way to extract the information from like digital textbooks or something. Like, extract it and then recreate content that's around it and then load that in or something?
Well, it's interesting because on one hand, the risk is copyright lawsuit. But what if we just said, hey, here are the topics. Tell us about, if it's AP World History, like, tell us about the assassination of Franz Ferdinand. Like I guess the risk there is that it could be wrong on the test because maybe the source that they pulled is slightly different than.
Yeah. So so maybe like that's where it's like that's going to be your biggest challenge is because like the practice tests and working with the GPT to get the type of responses that you want, all that you probably already got it. I'd say you probably to a decent.
I've seen it. So the first one we did was the AP pre-calc, and I am shocked at like we said, hey, give us a 10-question quiz on the first chapter, and then it created it. And I don't really like the interface because you just have to type like for question 1 A, question 2 B, but then like it broke down what we got right, what we got wrong, and then broke down each individual step, which I was really, really surprised at how accurate and sophisticated that was. Like it just knows how calculus. Like I guess that's
then your big challenge is going to have to be that what you'd want to do is you would want to probably take all your practice tests or whatever that you approve of, and then you'd have to like have like a little side project or create a custom tool that's going to like take in all these tests and take in all this input and then create like sources for you to like check and be like, like, hey, do you want to source from this or okay, I got an idea. So the PDFs for the practice tests and any other instructions, and then stacking all the if you have all practice tests, put them all in one PDF and just title practice test, table of contents, and have it nice and organized.
Yeah.
Then any other things that you like instructions you want to give it, do the same thing. And then if you can do this source thing, that would be even better, because what you could do is you need to create like this is a GPT conception. You need to create a tool that will take in all the information, everything that you need, and then go and produce sources that it thinks that it finds that
and then they have to be approved.
And then you got to approve it. And then what you could do is like when you have approved sources, you could create like a spreadsheet that's in that like goes to your. It's like here's a list of our approved sources.
Okay.
So like if you want to like do a little like these are all the sources that we trust and that like that like
right.
Yeah. So like that's how I would do it. There's a lot of work, like manual front end work to like get all the data set there. But I think once
but
it's
in
set,
theory,
it's done.
It's like we could just use rinse and repeat
over
every
and over
single
again.
year.
Yeah, and then just keep adding to it or removing if some sources are like maybe like they're no longer live or you don't agree with them anymore. You don't want to use them as a source anymore for some reason. You can just remove it from the sheet and then it's automatically updated. Like
that's so cool.
It'll just it just starts changing its responses basically based on whatever is the source of the data.
Right.
And all that, how that all happens is really interesting, and it's called RAG. I don't even know. I can't even say the acronym.
Augmented retrieval.
Retrieval, augmented.
I can't remember it. Yeah.
Something.
Right, but it's just how it like.
It's about like basically how the model interacts with your data and your docs and your different things, and how it actually you can actually like write it and scope it to like how it makes decisions. Like from what I understand, like if it reads 100-page PDF, it actually doesn't read that all the time. Like so, like if it reads it once, from my understanding, it does like this little like it like caches or like it like paraphrases it.
Okay.
In a way that like allows it to access that information quicker later.
Yeah,
kind of like a word map.
Yeah,
yeah exactly. Like kind of like that. So it's like anytime the user that's using it says these like keywords, it already knows to hit the references and it hits it quicker and it gets more relevant information or whatever. So that's how all that's happening on the back end when we talk about connecting a source to your custom GPT or to your AI agent. It's like you you need a way to retrieve that information, and you need a way for the AI to actually reason and make decisions, and like you can actually control and guardrail like how.
So yeah,
how it works.
that's kind of where the prompt engineering comes in, right?
Prompt engineering wouldn't guardrail or control how your model uses the information it has access to.
Interesting.
Prompt engineering will be more of like not what or how, but like more like you kind of tell it how you want the information back. Like if you engineer a prompt that says, okay, this first prompt's just for context. This is all the information I want. These are the requirements. Save it in your context. All right, cool. And then it saves it. And then it's like, then you go into your next prompt and it could be like, okay, I need to draft up a user story. It needs to have blah, 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 blah. And then it does it. And then it bases it off of the previous prompt. So prompt engineering is like kind of like coming up with, this is how prompt 1 needs to be. Here's like the template. Here's like the info. Here's prompt 2. Here's prompt 3. And then how do you chain those together to get the most consistent output?
What do you
the RAG part is like deeper than that. It's like you enter in the prompt. RAG is really allowing like kind of like the prompt to like know how to like like kind of, and you can tell it, hey, we don't want you to access certain pieces of information or do certain things around.
That's what I was calling prompt engineering. So you might just be like educating me right now. What do you call that when you tell, use the RAG this way? Is that not? I thought that was prompt engineering. So
when you're using RAG, so like you can tell it, okay? So like what I'm saying is like you could tell it, don't give it to me this way, don't give it to me that way, and I'll give it to you. What I'm saying is with RAG, you can like kind of, if I'm creating my own custom model from my understanding, and if you really want to know about it, come to Dev Connect next week. Because someone's doing a RAG demo, and then I might be like, hey, Andrew,
I'm going to be asking.
Andrew, no crap. That didn't make any sense. But anyway, like from my understanding is like RAG, like the average user is never going to know about RAG,
right?
Or an MCP server, if you don't like a model context protocol server. Like no one's going to know about that stuff. That's all the stuff that's happening in the background. So like prompt engineering though is like coming up with a series of prompts and like how to do a certain task, and then if you got a set of like, hey, these templates of prompts in this order with this set of type of information gets us a very consistent output, then you can like kind of like get that. You could automate that.
But what do you call that?
That's prompt engineering, in my opinion.
Okay. Wait, you
like
just
you're
rattled
engineering prompts.
I just said that's prompt engineering. You're like, no, it's not, but it is.
Oh,
I'm confused. Will you explain it?
Yeah, I'm trying to explain it in a way like so. Prompt engineering is you're building the prompts.
Yeah. And
you're telling the AI and the AI model is already built.
Okay.
The RAG is in place. The guardrails that you can and can't do, how it is going to interact with the information that it has is already set. Like in the end user
those
can't.
Are just it's like a design choice.
It's a design.
Okay, I got you.
So it's more like in development, design or like architecture.
Okay, gotcha.
The prompt engineering is like you're a user or a prompt engineer who's like working with the AI. You're not actually doing the AI engineering and being like, hey, like. But if you could imagine that, like, if you control the whole stack of your model, you could like the things that you're going to run into using like a custom GPT, like builder, like ChatGPT, you're going to find, it's like it's good, but it's like it's not perfect. Yeah. The MCP servers, the RAG, setting up your custom models, and like how it all. That's how you like you can like fully control it. So again.
That's cool.
Prompt engineering, create the prompt, try to get the most consistent output, make it useful. You can even potentially take those prompts and like automate it in a workflow somehow, whatever. But it's not the RAG. It's not controlling how it actually retrieves and makes its decisions. It's just you're the user telling the AI what you'd like to get, and it's going to go follow the rules it knows to give you the best thing that it can give you based on the prompt you gave it.
Gotcha. So they're two separate things. So there's what we're doing now is basically building out an MVP. Yep. So like he's got these students that he's working with. I mean, what a wonderful opportunity to like roll out a product and then have them test it and then give us ideas. That's using ChatGPT, which is like the on label. You're saying you could build out your own.
You could build out your
LLM.
own, and there are some here. You might want to jot this tool down. It's called N8N.
Oh, I know N8N.
You might have some luck on there with
Okay.
some custom GPTs or agent building and things like that. And there's some other platforms that's similar to that.
Gotcha.
You can have a little more of a custom experience. So I don't know I don't know them off the top of my head right now, but there are some out of the box. You can get. I think you can get a little bit more control around your custom GPTs and what you can do than ChatGPT, without having to know how to do a full stack AI app or something.
I mean, it's kind of cool in that you were just talking about how you can use these AIs to like rapidly prototype.
Yeah.
Literally, what we're talking about right now. Like, that's a business.
So you're saying like, okay, we got the custom GPT proof of concept, right? In ChatGPT, and then we can use a tool to prototype what a front end interface could potentially look like.
Right, because like what I don't like is that I don't like being tied to this chat interface where it just feels clunky to be like 1 period. The answer is A, 2 is C.
Also, how are the kids going to use it? Are they all going to share a login, or are you going to just
no? So we've created a custom GPT on ChatGPT,
and then you share
and then we share it.
So they got to use their own. They got
right. So
do they use a campus account, or they use their own?
Oh, that's a good question. We haven't even gotten that far. So like right now, we were just like, well, it's baked in. They're probably going to have to pay $20 a month just to have access to it. Which like, if they go from having a C in the class to an A in the class, I think that's $20 is.
Yeah.
I mean, $20 is not nothing, but
so
for them to have, also they're getting a level of attention from Percy that like I guess they wouldn't because they're part of the beta test.
Okay. Yeah. So, that was a good point you put there. So like, in theory, so you as a non-developer, you can create your custom GPT.
Yeah.
There's your idea.
It's literally just like
then you can go
just add things to it and then type.
Yep. And then you can go use Replit and build out a front end UI on how you could envision your students using this thing. And then you can contact me and I'll push it to deployment, to production.
Wow.
For you.
Do you work in sales or marketing?
I am sales and marketing.
Yeah. I am that. It's funny because I've actually, probably 6 months ago, I built out a custom GPT for Greensboro College. Just built out like a campus assistant. It was in Copilot, and it's surprisingly easy. Like you just add.
Are people using it? Do you know that data?
They're not using it right now.
Because I know when you publish those types of things to the org, like sometimes you can get some usage data on it, see if anybody's using it.
Yeah. But I guess we like jumped into the whole conversation. What is a custom GPT?
That is funny. And you warned us about that too. Like we got to make sure we talk about that one. But.
Well, yeah. Well, because you were talking, you started to get into it, and I was like, save this for the podcast because you understand how it works. I don't really. I kind of. I mean,
a custom GPT. It's to put it plain and simple. Like I would imagine that the majority of your audience knows what AI is, knows what generative AI is, and has used or heard of ChatGPT, and knows what that nice looking thread looks like, and that app. Okay, so a custom GPT is in ChatGPT realm is simply just you pick a model to base your GPT off of, and then you're putting some parameters and configuration around it using the UI. And then there's also ways to connect data streams to it and different things like that. But and then what happens is now you have your own version of ChatGPT that's
you control the sources,
that's
right?
geared towards the sources, and then also the outcome of
Gotcha.
like you got to obviously you've built one, so like to get what you need out of it, you have to give it instructions, tell it what you're trying to get, that sort of thing. So that's a custom GPT. There's other platforms out there that you can spin up other custom, like there's everyone has like custom GPTs now. So like you can just build your own custom agents and do different things. And
very cool. I mean, for those of you who are listening, I've heard like a really low hanging fruit for like a custom GPT. If you're working in a company, you could just put together like an interactive directory. Like that's actually something.
That's a good common. That's like that's an easy, not an easy one, but that's one that like would be super easy and like your company might actually be like, yeah, we will use this.
Yeah, if you want to look really cool to your manager,
be like, hey, check this out.
Be like, yeah, I'm kind of an AI guru at this point. But the thing is, I mean, and this is a whole separate topic, is the bar is actually really low for like coming off as very competent with AI. Like the average person.
Oh yeah.
The average person, it's like we have fire now. It's like this new space age technology that
it is interesting. Like everybody, so it sort of sets the bar, like it resets the bar. Everybody's here now instead of like starting from down here, right? So, but here's the thing, like anything, everybody can do it, but the experts in their industry are going to be able to use AI in a way that those other people, they can't catch up. And guess what? Now they're probably not even going to worry about going to learn anything because they think AI is going to be able to teach them everything. That's the big fear that I have. Like everybody
because I'm in the education space.
Yeah,
so like,
everybody thinks, and this is really, I'll die on this hill. Like AI is going to take all this stuff. AI is going to do all this. AI is going to do that. Like, get AI into everything. I agree. Get it into everything, but like you got to be intentional with it. And if you're using it for learning, you have to. With code, for instance, like part of our guidelines at our team is like you have to do some manual coding. You can't just you can't just blindly use Claude to just spin up an awesome feature and then not go through the code and then not like do some hands-on stuff. Like you just can't, like, cause like what's going to happen is like, yeah, you might have some wins and things are going out the door and then eventually nobody's looking at anything and just.
Well, then it becomes a black box.
It's a black box. It's like, okay, cool. It's working.
Yeah.
That's.
But then when it's not working.
Yeah. So
what do you do?
Long story short is like, to answer that question, like, the competent level's low for AI, but I can tell as a senior engineer if you're using AI and if you're really using AI.
What's the difference between using it and only using AI?
No, like using it, like, hey, like I threw this code snippet in the ChatGPT and it gave me this and it works. Or if you're actually using it, and I can give you just a quick summary. Imagine being in a terminal, right? Does everybody know what a terminal is? If you don't, it's a little black box that has your files.
Yeah.
And okay, so typing in Claude, working on something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way though, I have another agent that's working in the background on stuff I don't want to work on. So there's an agent that ChatGPT's released that I've been beta testing and it's working really nice. It's called Codex.
Okay.
And what Codex can do is it can connect to your GitHub repo and you can actually submit little fixes like enhancements, bugs, whatever that you're getting, and it'll create a task list. And then you just have it working on it, and it'll go. So as long as I know what code it's working on, I can go over and work on. So I don't merge or conflict. Right. I don't want to conflict anything with them. Yeah. So like, I will go and work on the thing I want to work on with Claude, and then Codex is going to squash all my bugs and all my other things. So that's really using AI as a coder, like not just hopping on ChatGPT, copy and pasting like like back and forth. Like everybody's probably like, if you're using it that way, like. I did it too, but then as soon as I started leveraging agents that just do work without you doing anything, and then CLI agents that you interact with right locally
I don't know what that is.
A CLI stands for command line interface.
Okay.
So a command line interface tool is like a series of like commands or shortcuts that you can use in your terminal to like do things. So Claude CLI is really easy. You just type Claude and then it opens up a little prompt that says hi and you just talk to it and you just tell it. And it changes all your files. So, and another thing that's really cool is like whatever directory you're in, let's say I only want to go. So again, like I said, Codex is over working on I don't know, we'll say the account dashboard, there's a bug in the reporting or whatever. So I'm going to go over and work on the ticket submission view or whatever,
Yeah.
because there's this new feature we got to add. I know that Codex is over here, so I'm going to CD means change directory. I'm going to change my directory path and go, okay, now I'm only working with these set of files. Tell Claude, boom, like, Claude, I want you to work on this. Then I can go open up another terminal and go to another part of the code base and be like, Claude, work on this.
So you're basically just a manager.
Yeah, essentially.
That is. Do you think that's kind of it's funny, that's kind of the big fear, is that.
Yeah. I would be, I coming from a owner of a full stack engineering firm, if I was on a full time like
Job,
enterprise senior engineering role, or maybe not senior, but like, you're like mid and like you're kind of doing a lot of front end or manual coding, I would be scared. But for people like me and the developers and the consultants that work with us, they're high talent, high dollar per hour, they're going to make out really well because there's going to be.
It's the context, right?
Well, they know everything. They can do it without the AI.
Right.
So now they have the AI now, but like, if I was a full stack engineer and I got laid off because of AI or got laid off in general, I would not be that afraid right now, because you can get out there and there's a lot of people that want to just hire like a freelance developer or like somebody to come onto their team and work on things.
Let me ask you this. Would you, well, I guess I was going to ask, I feel like I just need to give the context. I've heard that like Berkeley or Harvard's computer science department, their grads are just not getting jobs. So would a fresh grad be enough to fill that? Or are you saying this person needs 5, 10, 15, 20 years of experience?
Rephrase the question.
So people are like, one of the lowest job placements for degree now, surprisingly, has become computer science.
Yeah.
So people are getting this degree. And
it's not surprising.
Okay. Well, I guess this is just not a conversation. I mean, we talked last time a little bit about jobs and stuff, because, by the way, Craig got the full-time offer. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And he's using AI daily.
Good stuff.
But yeah, the job market stuff is really concerning, interesting to me. I think from my understanding of the conversations I've had, there's two things that are conflating right now to make it like, didn't they say the jobs report got written down by like almost 1 million jobs? It was like 910,000. I think that we overhired during COVID, and I think that there's a ton of hype around AI. So like the two of those together, people are just, especially in these like tech companies, are just letting people go. In fact, I think they're using the AI as an excuse to get rid of the people that they overhired.
Get rid of more people.
Yeah. So it's weird. I see so much doom and gloom.
I can see that. Yeah. No, I can see that could be the case too, because even the biggest tech companies right now know that like rolling out AI at scale to replace developers and engineers is like it is happening, but it could happen at scale. But doing it right now is like it's a little early. I think there's going to be like an AI bubble, to be honest.
Right, but
like,
it's kind of like it's like a trap, because it's like if young people are not developing that expertise, eventually, you know.
Well, I'll say this, I guess, perfect segue. I dropped out of college and I didn't go to school for software engineering. So that's the thing. That's the difference. So you're gonna get, if you go to school, unless you're gonna be like a serious engineer.
Or you're in my class.
You got to be a serious engineer. You got to be like engineer. You got like, I feel like to really like, if you're gonna be just web dev and software, you probably don't need school. But if you're gonna be like an engineer, like an electrical engineer, or like somebody who's gonna like not only code the software but like build the motherboards, or like, you know, with the chips and the different things that are like going to interact with the IoT devices or whatever. Like, I feel like a college degree and education is necessary for those types of things. But everyone I know that went to school for computer science and that are kind of focused on software and like, you know, web dev and things like that, by the time they get out of college, they're like 7 years behind.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Because don't they just teach frameworks like evergreen? Because the thing about like from an educator's perspective, I'll tell you this story. During COVID, I created a Power BI class it was over 4 hours long. It was like over 100 lectures.
Mhm.
By the time that I had published it, it was already outdated by 15 days.
Yeah.
Because Power BI every month or
Yeah.
every few months changes where the buttons are or something like that. So I see why that they take that kind of utilitarian approach of like, let's just teach the frameworks. The frameworks are evergreen and foundational and they don't change.
Yeah, but you got to change the frameworks. The frameworks do change. They
See,
change
I'm like,
rapidly.
interesting.
The
I'm talking about
principle-
a conversation I've had with
Yeah.
someone who's in that space. So I'm like,
Yeah, the principles and the best practices and like,
maybe that's what I'm trying to say.
yeah, that's probably what you're trying to
Okay.
say. Oh, yeah. When I think framework, I'm thinking the actual tech you're going to use day to day.
Gotcha. Because we
So
have an
school
interesting
teaches-
overlap in that I'm in sales and marketing too, but
Mhm.
more on the content creation side. And I think we really understand each other there. But when you get
Yeah,
into
I
dev
think when you're
stuff-
saying framework, I immediately think like a JavaScript framework or
okay, see,
something.
it's like two different languages.
because we had a couple interns that I forget where they came from. It was one of the colleges around here, but it was a couple years ago. They came through, and like I felt bad. Like their portfolio was like this little flat
Yeah.
like HTML,
Yeah.
like a little crappy.
so it was
looking
like 10 years
thing.
outdated.
Yeah, and this is coming out of this is like it was like 2021, 2020, 2021, and like they're using stuff that's like they're using practice like the things that like when I was asking questions like she didn't know certain things and it's like oh okay yeah it's like okay.
Yeah.
You know and it's like and then like it's just like it's like I feel bad and then like I work with them and I try to help and
But
it's like it's the only way if you find yourself graduating with a outdated knowledge base and like the best way to do it is just hit the ground running and go freelance.
really,
Yeah, that's the
you wouldn't
best
recommend
way.
a full-time job?
If you could get one, I would recommend it. But
Okay.
actually,
Oh,
I probably wouldn't. I would just say you should freelance anyway, like
Yeah.
freelance and full time, because it's not pretty out there in the job market. And I'll tell you this: I'm not looking to hire any full time young developers anytime soon
Interesting.
because I got awesome senior level talent that can do 1,000x productivity with AI.
So yeah,
now.
it's interesting. You say
Yeah.
1000x.
It really is 1,000x. I can prove that. Like our output is 1,000x faster.
Then
It's like crazy. It's like insane. Like a
That's
website
insane.
that would take 10 months is like taking like 3-4 weeks. Like
that's
full. I'm talking discovery, design, build, approvals, deploy, and then also have a week period for just like. And that's a timeline, and that's like, bang.
that's wild.
Yeah, and that's just a website. That's not like like things like features, for instance, like a feature. I put a feature in place in an app that I built that would normally take like 150 hours,
Wow.
45 minutes.
It was accurate.
It's accurate.
Is it consistently
Good.
accurate?
It's to the point where I'm doing things and I'm doing complex features and I know they're complex and they're getting done in minutes.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and I'm just like, I review them like, looks great. push,
That's
push, and
wild.
push, and push. And it just keeps and I just keep pushing. And that's what it's like now. So you as that freelancer, that young talent, you just got to get out there and you got to get experience. You got to work.
Yeah.
You got to actually work. You can't just be theorizing and best practicing. You got to get out there.
Yeah.
You got to fail. You got to find out what works, what doesn't work. A big thing too that people. This is the issue that we're having too. By the way, so jobs aren't happening for software engineers and tech people and things like that. But then you also have where they don't really have to learn too much soft skills or like they have to learn enough to collaborate and communicate.
I imagine people go to development because they think it's
I don't
not
have
a
to deal
sales
with
job.
people. But now you're in a situation, we're in an economy where if you don't go out and build your own brand, be your own boss, work towards being that freelance consultant, you're not going to have anything to do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And I hate to paint it that way. It's dark, it's grim. I think that's that way for marketing professionals too, to be honest.
I'm seeing this in real time. In that I've been teaching for 5 years. I ran a career services program where I placed people in their first analytics job in 2021 and 2022. Then you could just send out 500 one-click applies, and then that was leading to interviews. People are sending like thousands upon thousands of these like one-click applies, and just nothing is happening. I think we've reverted back to, it's about who you know. And
and we were in the golden age where everybody was hiring. So you just one-click apply and you get like 5 interviews and
well, then I'm also thinking about like how stunted, and I hope this doesn't come off as mean, is like how socially stunted young people are.
That's another struggle. Because
it's like you've got to go out and like interact with people in the real world, and you're going to talk to someone who's like, pay grades above you, and like don't be weird and intimidated like it's just another person. Like
no, it's a big challenge to solve. And I said it's a lot of careers, like not just marketing and dev type people, but there's a lot of things to think about. It's we need to be learning on our human connection element and our communication and our soft skills. And we need to continue to read. We need to continue to do things, that hands-on things. Like we can't start getting into this habit of just relying on the AI all the time.
Okay, I had this thought earlier, but I didn't want to interrupt you.
Yeah.
So right now, the way that like me and Percy are working with the high school students, they know how to use AI to cheat. Like it's like, hey, what's 2x times 5 equals whatever? Tell me the answer, and then they can just submit that.
Yeah.
But that's like layer 1. Layer 2 is like, can you break down the steps? Could you give me multiple versions? I want to practice this. Like instead of seeing AI as like the oracle that just bestows answers to you, it's like almost treating it like it's a study partner.
Yeah.
And I think that's the right framing. I think a lot of people don't see it that way.
Yeah, and I actually, one of my buddies, he's in my CEO peer group. His name's Corey Gannum. He's kind of getting into the AI space now, and he posted something that mentioned, he's like, I don't rely on AI to write all my copy or do all that stuff all the time. He's like, I use AI to give me practice, like exercises on how to become a better writer.
Interesting.
So that way, if I continue to do it this way, and AI helps write some things along the way, but if I continue to do it this way, I might not need the AI, because it's kind of like me. Like there's a lot of scenarios where I don't need the AI. It's like, it's just easy. It's like my little brother, shout out. Like he'll tell the AI like, make this change, and then you wait like 2 minutes, and I was like, dude, that would take a second. Like just right there. But so it's like, I think utilizing the AI to improve, like not only get more productive on the stuff that is that repetitive work and like that stuff that that's not valuable, but that value focused time work, you should not be focusing on getting it done in the quickest, fastest way. You could literally produce something 100x quality and like that better than what you would have done yourself in like 45 minutes. But it would have took you maybe 4 hours if you did it yourself. You're still going to get something better in 45 minutes. So why are you trying to get it done in 2 minutes? Like take your time. That's what I'm trying to get at. Like take your time, work with the AI, really refine what you're working on. Like for instance, like when I'm building out like a plugin or an app or something using AI, like I could do the bare minimum and in 5 minutes be done. Be like, all right, boom, task done, check off. Or I could take an extra 15 minutes and make sure the README makes sense and like, like really, there's some like it has way too many comments. Sometimes AI in code like puts like comments for everything. Like this is the color black.
Yeah.
So it's like, no,
Yeah.
thank you on that. So like, clean all that kind of stuff up. Take your time and like, you're saving all this time. That one of the things that engineers always used to say was like, we're crunched for time, so we have to we're sacrificing quality. Well, now
Yeah, you don't have to
you
make
don't
that.
like take your time, work at it.
Yeah.
If you don't understand something about the code or the thing you're working on with AI, like you said, ask it the follow-up questions and get sharper at it so that next time you prompt it, you could get the answer quicker.
Gotcha.
Essentially, but because you already kind of know the answer, or
Yeah.
you know how to get the answer, so you know how to prompt the AI to get the answer faster.
It is interesting because I have started using ChatGPT for my copywriting for my descriptions, and I'll literally like prompt engineer it where you first say, "Hey, create me a YouTube description," it's got like emojis all over it. It's like it's written like, I don't know, one of those influencers. It's like, "Hey guys, smash that!" Like it doesn't inherently understand my tone.
Yeah.
So like I've got to prompt engineer and say, "Hey, write this description. Here's the title of the video. Formatted multiple paragraphs. Keep it like normal sounding, but include these keywords." And I take and copy all the keywords in there. And yeah, I mean it really, really puts out some like quality.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and
I'll be honest. I use ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT for all my content. Like I don't.
Really?
I mean, I don't. We're not at I'm not at a stage where I care about my messaging. I do, but like I didn't care about it for so long. Like it doesn't matter that much right now. Like we're almost there to the point where it's like, okay, I can get like a fractional CMO to come in and like really tighten up the marketing department.
Yeah.
But everything's working and it's been working forever. We just did a big overhaul on our website, and I used ChatGPT to do the entire marketing strategy, content, sitemap, and all that kind of stuff. And our conversion rates didn't change.
Yeah.
They didn't go up, they didn't go down. So like, it doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't I don't know. For us, it doesn't matter as much right now for the content stuff. So I'm okay with it being AI. There is one thing that's like a pet peeve of mine is the when people do posts like personal posts is like themselves and they leave the M dash in there. I can't stand that.
I don't even know.
You know what an
I've
M-dash?
heard of it. I don't know what it looks like.
It's like the long. It's like I don't even know how to do
It's
it
like
on
two
my
dashes?
keyboard. You'd have to like do this like you have to have like some kind of crazy reach on your hand to like do the keyboard shortcut to do it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so like ChatGPT is notorious for that long extended M dash. So one of the things I did was I added so you can configure your ChatGPT account like the high level.
No.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
So if you go to your settings,
I feel like I'm in like kindergarten.
if you go,
you're in like high school.
If you go to your settings, and you go to like your profile, you can like set high level context, kind of like on what you like.
Almost like telling you, here's my tone.
Yeah. And there's like a bunch of things in there, and I could share it with you at some point. But there's a bunch of things in there that ChatGPT does, like the M dashes and the emojis and all that kind of stuff. I tell it at the highest level that, hey, I don't want any of that.
Yeah.
And then so like every single chat I open up or anything, like it obeys that rule.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have been doing it.
And then if I do see an M dash, I'll tell it.
Get on it.
Yeah. But then also it's like if I happen to see an M dash or I'm using maybe Gemini on the fly or on Gmail or something or whatever else, like I'll just remove the M dash and like I always like I'm a ... person.
Yeah,
so like it ... So like I just replace the M dashes with the ellipses. So
gotcha. All right. So let's close out the podcast on this. So Thursday, I'm giving a talk on AI to the local junior league. So it's women between the age of 40 and 70. What should I talk about at a high level about AI?
Okay, so the first thing is, what are they expecting the event to be? What's the audience expectations?
They want it to be somewhat interactive, but also too they just kind of want to like demystify what all is going on. And part of the reason why I wanted to bring up the custom GPT example earlier is for you to get like concrete on a specific example that people could picture. So my understanding is that's what the junior league wants. They want
A concrete example.
Well, probably multiple that I can make it
Are you doing
interactive.
that 2 days from now?
Thursday, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I mean, without AI, you wouldn't be able to get ready for that in time.
Well, I mean, I was about to say Kurt Meinhold actually gave it the last talk
Okay.
called Demystifying AI. I have his full permission to just steal his,
Oh, there you go.
his slide deck.
Take it.
But I think I'm going to pick
Yeah,
and
you got to
choose
do
a
your
little
own
bit.
thing. Yeah.
Like, I guess another way of framing this up is, do you have any advice
Okay.
for
this
newbies
is,
to AI?
yeah. So this is, and we do get these questions a lot, especially in my CEO peer group. They're, there's older gentlemen and women in there. So like they're kind of new, they're a little scared of it and things.
Right.
So like
That's kind of the feeling I'm
the
getting.
thing is, you need to talk about the fear that everybody has. You gotta just get it. Everybody's afraid. Like they're kind of afraid of it in some way, shape, or form. So just talk about it.
I'm afraid talking to you because you know so much more about it than
I
me.
don't know that much at all either.
I mean, I guess that's the lesson, right? Is that AI is so wide and so expansive that if someone knows something you don't, it's not that you're behind. It's just like it's.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they could know something all the way over here.
Right.
It's not linear. It's like a cluster of information and people learning things as they go.
Yeah, and it's also not beneficial to try to learn all the things all the time.
Yeah.
Like you've got to pick and choose.
For sure, you do. You gotta kind of get in your lane and kind of figure it out. Like I can see an AI is gonna end up being like, companies are gonna be experts at agents or blah blah blah. Okay, so back to your question. Fear. So you gotta address the fear. So security concerns. A lot of people don't know that anything you upload to, I think, pretty much any of the models,
They own it.
Well, they own it to a certain extent, but if it's a personal account, they use it to train their own models. If it's a business,
Sure.
most business accounts don't use your data to train the models, but I would still recommend you don't put sensitive data into the model. It's like into the prompts.
When you say sensitive, one of the examples that I think is an interesting use case is the exact thing you're warning about is uploading medical results. Mm-hmm. So do you think, I mean, now circling back to this first point, fear, what is the potential risk there of them like getting?
Just like like anything, the potential risk is their information that they're uploading is attached to their user's profile and it's indexed some way in their database that the AI can get anything they want on that user at any time. And if they get hacked or there's anything else or there's any kind of lawsuit type things, FBI, those types of things, anything you're putting in there, like it's fair game. They own it.
Interesting. Well, I was talking specifically about like upload. Say you got some blood work and uploading the picture of that and say, "Hey, can you interpret this for me?"
Yeah. Well,
so do you think that's a good or a bad idea?
I've done that.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a good idea because
that's a good use case. But just I would just recommend just blurring out any information that's like personal,
identifying,
and then just say, "Hey, this is just don't say, hey, this is my blood." Obviously that's just kind of like, hey. Just give it a generalized thing, like by the look of this report, give me an analysis, and then you can dive into different things.
Well, because on that use case specifically, it's like you can improve the quality of conversation you have with your provider. So instead of asking tier 1 questions of what's wrong with me, it's like, okay, I've got the diagnosis, and then I'm uploading the blood work, and then have ChatGPT like do the research. Yeah. And the thing is, like, you don't want to take ChatGPT's. I mean, it's not a doctor. Like, I'm not gonna take their advice and then do something crazy. But like, you can at least educate.
I used it. So okay, this is a great example. I tore my ACL last year playing Ultimate Frisbee. I never had a major surgery like that before, and there was different ways you can get the fix. Mm-hmm. Like you can get different parts of like the cadaver or the the thigh, the hamstring, where they take the graft and rebuild your ACL. But each one had its own risks and its own.
Right.
So like what I was able to do is like not really like I definitely I urge people, don't use it as like if you got the diagnosis or you got the surgery coming up or you got the things, like, yeah, use it to help you understand and like,
Right.
but don't like try to like use it as like the AI WebMD,
Right.
Because everything's going to go to
cancer.
cancer.
It's cancer.
But
you're actively dying.
it does like it's always like if you do something like that at the very end, it could also be
your
cancer.
elbow hurts? Cancer.
So what I'm trying to get is like it really helped me like not be afraid of the surgery, not be afraid of the approach I chose, like on how I was going to get the surgery. And then it also really helped with like, cause like, I don't, we all know like healthcare in America has always kind of been like kind of off, like, like as far as like, they're going to go pharmaceuticals versus like physical therapy.
Mm-hmm.
But like, luckily my doctor was big on physical therapy. But things like that ChatGPT was able to do was like tell me like, hey, by the way, like you should probably do some pre-surgery therapy.
Interesting. Yeah.
And then it's like, and then it made me a pre-therapy workout plan. And then when I went into my surgery appointment with my surgeon,
like super ready.
yeah, he was like, dang, he's like, your legs are like a lot stronger than they were the last time.
That's
like,
awesome.
he's like, that's good because like when you come out of a surgery like that. Like I tore my meniscus too, which means I was going to be bedridden for 8 weeks.
Yikes.
So I needed I wanted to have my muscles as strong as I could have them because I was going to be on like laying in bed for 8 weeks. So because like my doctor was basically saying like, yeah, your legs are going to like shrink down to nothing.
Oh wow.
Over 8 weeks of just sitting there. So that's a good use case I would say is like navigating like health things. But I would not use it to help you self-diagnose or anything like that.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say this is the final diagnosis.
Just navigation and making decisions and things. Probably making better life choices off of like your data. I've done that before too. Like my liver enzymes were high one time.
Yeah.
And it was like
that's literally what's going on with me.
I dropped it in the ChatGPT and it was like cut the fast food, cut the alcohol, blah 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 blah. It's everything the doctor was saying, but then it would give me some extra little tips like, well, throw this into your diet and do this and do that. And then the next time I got my blood work, it was like perfect. It was like boom. So like
that's awesome.
Very useful use case there, I think.
Gotcha. All right. So any other
use
tips?
Case?
Well, just tips
so
on
the fear and the security. So like I was going to go into like an order thing. So like
fear,
you want to talk about the fear and the security thing, like not putting sensitive information in there, not taking it for truth and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then also like, just let them know that like, yeah, it is like everything's a risk, right? So like there is a risk. This could be Terminator. And it has all your information.
Well, I literally jotted down AI psychosis. Have you heard of this?
What is it?
AI psychosis?
No, I've never heard of this.
People are apparently one of the founders of OpenAI or one of the major funders has, because the thing about like the AI is it agrees with you. So if you're in a manic episode and you're talking to ChatGPT,
oh my gosh, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Like I feel bad.
I agree with you. They are not on your side.
There's this one girl on TikTok. I feel mixed emotions about this, but she's very clearly having a manic episode, thinks her psychiatrist is in love with her, and has two AIs who call her the Oracle, saying that he's clearly in love with you and hear the song. Like,
oh my god,
yeah, there's like millions of people. It feels sad to see.
Dangerous.
But also it's like the AI is completely apparently.
Now they did put guardrails in
with one of the recent
GPT-5. Yeah,
with one of the recent updates, they stopped calling her the Oracle, and she's like mad about it. Apparently, a lot of people felt like they lost a girlfriend or boyfriend.
Yeah, I did see that, and I felt bad, like for those people because they just need connection. And
it kind of gets back to the social thing.
It does. It all comes back to that.
Yeah, like
it all comes back to that.
Getting out, meeting people.
The next wave of kids and generations coming through, like we need to go. Like, yeah, tech's good. Like tech is to the point where it's going to be so easy for people to do. Like, you don't need to learn any more things about tech and that kind of stuff. We need to get back to personal connection, public speaking, talking, how to make connects. You know, the whole like who you know. Well, how do you do that? I can tell you how I did it real quick. I was working a part-time job when I started my freelance business to help supplement income, and I saw that there was this event going
Venture
on.
Cafe?
It was New Ventures Demo Day.
Okay.
Now it's called Converge South, but back then it was like that was like their thing. It was like an startup accelerator type thing. And I just emailed the organizer, "Hey, I want to take pictures for your blog, for my blog, and I'll give you the photos for free." And then he said, "How about I pay you $200 to take the photos?"
That's awesome. Perfect.
And then that got me in there, and then I met all the organizers, and it got me in at the top level immediately because I got the organizer of the event, and then he was tied to like the owner of Flywheel Co-working and all these other things. So it's like then it's like that was my first like just get like brute force into the local economy. You don't teach they don't teach that stuff.
Why do you think
get that from boots on the ground? Like I got that from boots on the ground sales. I got to know who I need to know and who I need to know that person. Yeah. Like you got to know that stuff.
The warm introductions are amazing.
Oh yeah.
Like that because there's a certain aspect, and I don't know, maybe this is getting too geeky, social capital. Like if the person respects the person that's introducing you, you're kind of seen in a similar light. Like, this is Gary's contact.
It's perfect. So as soon as you can get that warm intro, but people don't think about that. Like a lot of people, they think about, well, how do I get sales? Oh, I got to advertise, or I got to do this or that. That's
like you didn't go up to him and said, "Hey, what can you do for me?"
Yeah.
Like you didn't say that in the email. You're like, "Hey,
I just asked permission to go take pictures." And by the way, there was a lot of people around there taking pictures who didn't ask for permission. True. And they're not in business anymore. Or they're not taking pictures anymore. So it's like, you gotta get in there. You gotta get in there, and you gotta make connections, and you gotta, beat the streets, bang the drum, whatever you want to call it, to get yourself out there and meet people.
They do seem like AI and those social skills seem to be somewhat in conflict. Because you can just talk to your AI, and it's, you're never going to get rejected or humiliated or cussed out.
Unless you talk to Grok.
You mean Mecha Hitler?
Have you ever? Yeah, I mean, if you're talking to Gronk, it's funny.
It's a free for all.
I will say this: I like the blunt responses more than the fluffy like. Oh,
interesting.
You're so smart.
Yeah.
Like I would rather just get the info,
and
then sometimes like I asked Grok. I forget what I asked it. It was something where it was just like, I'm not even going to answer that because it's a stupid question.
That's perfect.
It's pretty funny.
Interesting. I didn't know Grok was so stern.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
All right. Well, you got any closing? Promote your business, man.
Yohdev, if you want to work with us, yohdev.com. I'm also on YouTube. Just search YOHDEV. Make sure you hit that H. We're not YODEV. We're trademarking, coming for you. But
Gotcha.
But yeah, no. It's great. I don't just reach out if you want to work with me as a client. Like if you're a freelance developer, marketer, creative agency owner, whatever, hit me up, find me on LinkedIn. Let's connect. I just want to, again, that could come full circle. I really feel like everybody's got to kind of partner together here, and everyone's kind of got to learn how to be their own boss in this new economy. And I find the quickest way to grow your business is to partner with people. So.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, Andrew, thank you so much for your time.
Awesome. Thanks.
Appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'll see you in the next episode.